Good morning, everybody. It's this week's time to go over the markets. I thought I'd get it in early, so obviously a lot of people that watch the channel are not subscribers yet. So if there's pairs that you watch and you like me doing this analysis, just give us a subscribe to the channel and a like. It'd be appreciated. It certainly helps me out. With that said, it's on to this week's analysis. It's Sunday as usual, 20th of the 3rd, 12:31 my time. As I said last week, I thought the euro pairs were fighting back, and it certainly looks that way, which is what has unfolded from last week. So we're on EURGBP at the moment, and as we can see, price touched in that little supply zone that we dropped from last time. We're still holding in this big weekly demand zone at the bottom here. It looks like price is forming a little bullish flag. So I think this is a good place to buy from, really, if you wanted to get in a little low risk buy to hold for long term if we do get that reversal on the euro pairs. I think just here, because we're just trading above the moving average, it looks like this zone here has been created as a little demand zone, as a bullish flag as well. So as long as obviously price doesn't gap down all on market opening, then it could be a nice little place to buy from here. So I'm going to pop this little buy out here, and we'll obviously aim for the next supply zone up here, which is still a good 7+ risk to reward ratio. So yeah, you could buy from this area on market opening this week, obviously with the confluence of a bullish flag, demand zone, and trading above the moving average. So that would be my little shout on EURGBP. So with that one, we will move to GBPJPY, and as I said previously, I've been waiting for price to come back right down to this big weekly demand zone at the bottom here. That didn't happen. I did send a post out last week looking for a buy from this supply zone here, but that got broken quite easily. Price only closed below it, so I wasn't inclined to sell it. If it had closed inside as a 50% candle, then I would have sold, but I'm glad I didn't, because it pushed right on through, and it looks like we're possibly going to be touching the supply zone above. So I'm going to pop on a short position here. That's what I could be looking for on GJ. A sell from the supply zone at the top, get a nice touch, or it could even be at this bottom zone here. So just get ready to look out from this area, because the last supply zones they were only briefly touched into, so it does show a strong area, and it could be a break and retest and fall. So around this area here, I'll put a little circled area like that. So that's what I could be looking for on GJ. Get up to the supply zone, and then look for a sell from the supply zone at the top, back down. Unless it breaks above, then we could be going further higher, and we could be buying from a pullback to a demand zone, possibly around here. So that's my thoughts on GJ, and we will move to EURAUD. We've had some big pips off this lately. Obviously we got the big sell. We had 600 pips. It went down 1300. As I said, this imbalance has been filled now. This one hasn't been filled yet. So I'd take that magnet off. So there's still an area there that hasn't been filled, and obviously we've got the imbalance. So I had a pre-look at this one, and as I said last week, I think the euro pairs are fighting back. Certainly looks that way on EURGBP, and it looks that way so far on EURAUD. if price can hold this demand zone here that was created, then I will take a buy from this demand zone at the bottom here, as indicated there, and look to fill that imbalance on that zone there. So that's what I'm looking for on EURAUD this week. With that, we'll move to GBPUSD. GU is a new pair that I've added as a request of someone in the comments. I took a buy last week after this candle close in the zone. So as everybody knows, when I'm trading, and what is it that I what is my entry scenario is I look for 50% candles. So that means the body of the candle is 50% or lower than the whole of the candle, including the wicks. But I like to see them happen right on the zone or in the zone that I have marked out. So if it happens above, like this one here that's fallen down, I don't like to take it. But since it dropped into the zone and we got 2, that's when I'll take the trade. So that's what I usually generally look for. So yeah, I posted last week on the social media accounts, Instagram and on the forums and stuff, that I was taking GBPUSD after 2 50% candles, second one being bullish. I took it on that candle close there, and we are currently in profit on this position, 147 pips. I'm looking for this supply zone here. We might have a little trouble once we meet the moving average, but we'll see how price is reacting into that. Again, with GBP being bullish, we might see some more further upsides on GJ, and obviously it corresponds with the euro, GBP. Obviously going sideways with the euro. The euro is gaining more strength, so euro GBP has just moved sideways for a week, creating that little flag. So this week should give us a clear direction on which currency is going to be a lot stronger. But I already taken this trade. I'm up in 147 pips so far. So I'll probably move my stop loss to my entry zone here and just let this one play out. So yeah, as I said, I'll update again next week with the charts and the social media accounts with an update on this pair. So that's GBPUSD. With that, we'll move to EURUSD. As I was saying, the euro pairs fighting back. It certainly looks that way. We are still in a bullish structure, obviously. It's not going to turn bullish until we get a nice breaker structure. We start trading above the moving average and we have some clear higher highs and higher lows. But it's certainly looking that way. You can start mapping out demand zones that you could possibly buy from. Jesus Christ. You can start mapping out demand zones that you could get little buys in on the long term. Just put very small positions on, because if you're looking for that big long swing, you're going to be looking for big volumes of pips. So no need to over leverage, no need to use a big position. Just put a little tiny position on and let it play out. And see how price reacts, because if it does start to change, then you've caught the move. It might not be a big position, but you're in the move regardless, and the volume will get you a return on percentage. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for on EURUSD. Just little pullbacks to these demand zones, and then you can buy in for the swing if it comes. So with that one, we'll move to gold, and with gold, I closed my runner finally. As you can see, price hit the all-time high that we had last time, this supply zone, but we've seen a dramatic fall from there. So we have to be careful on gold now, because this big supply zone it looks to be in play. So we could see price break down and move further back down before we get another big bull push. So I'm not looking to buy gold at the moment. I possibly might look to get some sells in on these little supply zones created. That's if we get a pullback. But we yet to see on that one. So gold, I've closed my runner. Structure's still bullish, but we could start to see it break down. We could see a little pullback here and a bit more downwards momentum. As I say, the only recent reason of the rising price in gold was due to obviously the news headlines and what happened with Russia and everything. And once it starts to dies down, I can see a drop back in price. And if this supply zone on the weekly and monthly chart, an all-time high, is the one that's powering it, we could see a further drop back in price, possibly to the 1800s, possibly even down to the 1700s in this big demand zone here. So yeah, just be careful on gold if you're buying it. Don't go mental because it's quite high up at the moment, and we'll watch to see what happens in the next week or so before we take an entry on that one. So that's that on gold. With that, we'll move on to Bitcoin. And as I posted last week, looks like we're getting squeezed in this corner in price. We're creating higher lows, and well, obviously we're not creating a higher high yet, but we're getting squeezed into this corner. So obviously I've been over many times, which is my entry candle, which I'm still holding, and it's a good time to buy in. These solid orange lines here are the lows that I've marked out. As you can see, we've gone higher each time, which usually would be an indication of things starting to turn bullish. So I think we might even see a little pop back down again here, and if it does, and if you're not in the trade, that would be my time to buy if you wanted to join in. So mark out this little wedge here, get your buy in as low as possible, and then hopefully we'll wait for the breakout on Bitcoin. But yeah, as I say, all the lows, they're getting higher each time, so you know it should indicate a bottom forming and then a breakout. You never know, but it's something we've got to try. Not using a massive position because again we're looking for a big volume in pips to give us a good return. So that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. Bit of a short one this week. As I say, I already had a pre-look at what was going on, so I could grasp, tell you what I was looking for quicker. So yeah, so that's it for this week. If you want to see more, give us a like and subscribe, as I said earlier, and I'll see you again next week.